It's hard sometimes, especially, most entrepreneurs are type A personalities. They're get it done. And when it doesn't happen on your timing, when your abilities fall short, because many entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs because they were crazy successful at the job they did before. Because generally entrepreneurs are driven that way. And when you get put into a job with a bunch of other people who aren't driven
Mhm.
like you rise to the top.
Yeah.
So then when you step out into this entrepreneurship, step into your unique plan, suddenly the abilities that work so well for you there aren't everything you can lean on. Or as we've talked on here before, you can even get ahead of God through your abilities. And sometimes he'll flatten your tire a little bit. He'll let some of the gas out because he
Yeah.
needs you to run out on a dirt road
Yeah.
somewhere and be like, okay, Alexis, I got your attention
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
See where we
Pretty
ended
much.
up at?
Pretty much. Pretty much. So I don't believe I've hit the flat tire season, but
Good.
I definitely am just like, let's not get there. So hey, what's up? Like you got my attention. And so, just really like learning and appreciating the growth in it as well, right? So
Yeah.
just doing things that I've never done. So I get married in August. So that's a new transition as well. We are preparing and like transitioning in that. So I feel like in any way that I could potentially transition, it's happening in this year. And so I've had to grow in grace,
Yeah.
literally, like just you've never been this version of you before. So be okay and know that you're going to learn a lot, which means you will probably make mistakes. That means you will not hit the targets and things that I think my type A mind wants to create. So yeah, just taking it, like I said, as steady as possible. I won't say slow, I won't say fast, but really learning like what the steadfastness of God really looks like and how to experience it in all of the things in my life. So yeah.
Yeah. I think there's 5 words that we don't like to hear these words, so I don't think we hear God say them, but Jesus said it quite often, which I think speaks volumes about some of the times when we hit these tough patches, when we struggle in some areas. These 5 words is actually what God's trying to say to us, and it's not derogatory. It's kinda like the word ignorant. Like, ignorant's not a derogatory word. It just means you don't have the information. But we can receive it in that context because we don't want anybody we compare ourselves to other. If Alexis has all the information, I don't have any. When you call me ignorant, comparing myself to you, now I'm less than. When ignorance is merely just a state of mind and a place and an awareness of what you got to go. But these 5 words is what Jesus said quite often to his disciples. It was never an accusation on who they were, it was an assessment on where they were. But it never came without an invitation for the next step. O you of little faith. Why do we struggle in life? It's because of those 5 words, because the faith of yesterday will not overcome the issue of tomorrow. If it did, the disciples, I mean, they were out casting out demons and healing people, and they still, time after time, came to these places where their faith had to be extended, where Jesus challenged, like, "Oh, you have little faith," because what happened yesterday won't get you to today. Like it got you to this point, but I need you ready for something bigger tomorrow. So your faith of yesterday got you here, but I need you to get something today to get to tomorrow. Like even it always, uh, they should call the New Testament. You can learn a lot from a dummy because look at the disciples. Jesus, how are we going to feed these 5,000 people? And Jesus said, hold my beer. He didn't really say that, but he said, watch me, I'll show you. And then just a few days later, we don't exactly know how many days later, they're standing in front of 4,000. And they come to Jesus and say, how are we going to feed them? Jesus, like, probably the same way I fed the 5. I'd lowered the number and you still don't have faith to see me do it. So I got to go show you again. And I think we all struggle in that. And especially when you're stepping into a new place, a new pattern. If you think about it from the perspective of the disciples, they were trudging a new path. They knew how to do Judaism. They'd gotten good at it, probably even mixed in with what they did. They knew how to go to the temple when you needed to go. They knew how to do the Shabbat on Friday night, Saturday. Like they knew it. It was so ingrained in who they were. Now Jesus was challenging them to walk a complete certain path. Like it's like all of us. We were good. I was good in the Navy. You give me a job to do, I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to do the job. I'm going to excel. Why? Because I know what's required and I can do that. Boom, 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 boom. Then I get in this ministry and I get into entrepreneurship and business. And now I'm like, God, I don't have a step 1 through 10 of what you expect of me where I can blow everybody else's doors off because I can do what I'm supposed to. Now I have to really trust you day to day. I'm not stepping into a church that's already substantiated and I'm just doing what I saw the pastor do before me. I'm stepping into a crazy place that I don't know what the next step is. But for some reason, I got a breath and I have the ability to walk, and you keep challenging me in my faith. So I can get upset and angry and like, God, why don't I have enough faith to do this? And he said, well, do you just want to keep staying where you were? Or do you want to step into something new? So I think for all of us, it's that place. That's the struggle for each and every one of us is every day is God, I want a new level of faith today. Because I know my faith of today only prepares me for the battle of tomorrow.